I, 39M, just learned that I have an older half-sibling, 56F, who is unknown to the rest of the family. According to 23M results, it looks pretty conclusive that I have a half-sister who was born shortly after my Catholic mother, 73F now, turned 17, and put up immediately for adoption. I've looked at all genetic explanations for the information I have. My confidence level is very high. My mother met and married my father a decade and a half after that. I am the oldest of multiple full siblings. I come from a family dynamic of really awful communication and a lot of secrets that don't even need to be secrets. People don't talk about things. I do understand, of course, why this was kept a secret. Furthermore, my parents, who had unhappily been together for 4 decades, have just gone through an awful, contentious divorce, and my mother is having to move into her own home for the first time in many decades. While my mother is fairly physically well, she is not, to put it gently, the most emotionally mature and capable person even under the best circumstances. She is going through a new traumatic experience right now, and if there is such a time as to ask her about this, it's not now. I wish that my mother were a capable, mature person who could handle difficult emotions and challenges with grace. That's not the mother I know myself to have. She is drowning emotionally under the weight of what she is going through right now. It seems likely to me that whatever the circumstances of my half-sister's birth, that they are not something that my mother looks back on with happiness. That might not be correct, but that seems like the right starting assumption. Perhaps my mother's feelings have evolved over time. Either way, frankly, I don't need to know the story. I don't feel like I am entitled to know this part of my mother's story. But I am interested in connecting with my half-sister and being supportive. I know her name, where she lives, and could contact her. According to her profile, last active a year ago, she is very clearly looking for information on her biological family. I don't have any evidence that she knows me or my siblings exist, nor do I have any evidence that she has yet made contact with my mother or any other family members. This is very new information to me. I just found out last night. One of my siblings and I found out together. You're getting the first 24 hours of my perspective here, and I'm doing the best I can. I'm taking the time to process this, and of course I'm taking in perspectives other than Redditors. But I don't know that I have anyone in my immediate circle who's been through an adoption experience, and it's important to me to move through the communication here in an understanding, inclusive way. I feel like there must be people here who have some insights. While I believe my half-sister has a right to know where she came from, and I want to be supportive of that, I would like to navigate the complexity here in a way that is considerate of the already very volatile, currently very fragile family that I grew up in. I'd greatly appreciate any perspectives that people can share. If I were to reach out to my half-sister, is there a best way to do it? A letter, an email, a phone call? How much does one share right away? Is there a considerate way to be helpful to her without immediately sharing all the information I have in a way that may cause harm to the family I grew up with? As an aside, I don't have the same last name as the rest of my family, so I am not immediately connected to them in that way. If that's at all relevant. The idea of gatekeeping important information feels bad, and inconsiderate. I know there's not necessarily a good time, but there are particularly bad times from my mother's perspective, and now is one. I know that once I contact my half-sister and share information, it's completely up to her as to what she does with it. At that point I've surrendered control. I want to help, first and foremost, and also I am understandably curious. I'm doing my best to not center my own curiosity here. Thank you. TL, Doctor, found out I have an older half-sister the rest of the family doesn't know about. Exploring how best to handle very delicate family communication dynamics.